Collie Training Journal, day 110, Focus on Precision and 31-Day Collie Drill Challenge, day 4. Today I did day 4 of the 31-Day Collie Drill Challenge, and I actually recorded this after my regular practice today, so the lighting is going to look different, and that's why. So today's 31-day challenge for the collie drills is basically a knife drill. There is a 1 and 2 slash with 2 thrusts in this drill, and this is a new drill to me, even though I'm familiar with all of the skill set and the movements in this drill. But mixing it up and trying to get the timing right was a little bit tricky. I didn't really practice this drill before I started it, which kind of added another element to the practice as well. It was fun, it got my heart rate up, and it got me pumping the oxygen through my body. This is one of the things that I really love about collie, is that it helps me get in exercise, especially when I don't feel like it, because I almost always feel like practicing collie. Here's the other aspect to this for me. Collie is about training, and it is about weapons, fighting, and training. But collie is also a lot about fitness and your athleticism as well. So it's not just a martial art where you're learning about fighting skills and learning about using weapons. It also requires a lot of athleticism. So here's my challenge to you. If you think that you are a great athlete, I am going to challenge you to try out collie for 30 days. Try each of these drills that are in Paul Ingram's 31-day collie challenge and see if you can keep up. If you can, that is awesome. If you can't, then this might be an option for you for future training. Practicing collie, and especially if you're serious and dedicated to it, really does improve and strengthen your athleticism. Okay, so for today's practice, I focused on precision in bridging. And even as I say that, I recognize that I have a lot of room to grow still. Pretty much going on a collie training tour and going to 2 trainings in the last 3 weeks really did test my skills and my determination to be dedicated to my collie practice. It really just drove home how much I love traveling and how much I really do love collie and my collie training. Something that really also drove home in the last 3.5 weeks was how beneficial collie has been for me. Collie is not only about athleticism, skill, training, learning how to use weapons, but it also has a lot of healing elements to it. In my collie journey, I have noticed that my diet, the way that I think, what interests me, what doesn't interest me, has all changed dramatically, and some of which I haven't even recognized until I'm in a certain situation. I don't know if it's positively or negatively benefiting my relationships yet, but what I can say is that it's positively benefiting my relationship with myself. I'm becoming more confident and view myself more as a warrior than anything else. Now, a warrior in training, a warrior that needs and requires a lot of skill building still. But I've always felt like I'm a fighter. Ever since I was a little girl, I have been the one defending friends and others against situations that were unfair or were not right. And collie has a way of drawing that out of me even more. It helps me to see that if I was in a situation where I needed to defend somebody, I have more skill to be able to defend myself and somebody else. Now, this wasn't my purpose for learning Kali, and it hasn't really been my purpose the entire time that I've been training Kali, but it's definitely something that I've begun to recognize and identify in myself. And I'm hoping that as I continue to create this journal, that I will continue to discover more and more about myself. Kali is a must every single day, but here on day 110, I've recognized that it doesn't require a lot of effort for me to just get started. The drills do, the practice does. It requires a lot of thought and effort. And today, as I was practicing my bridging, I recognized how much I need to draw out the lines on the sidewalk again, or on my driveway again, so that I can see the exact lines that correlate to where I'm supposed to be moving. As I continue to advance in my Kali skills, it's even more important for me to know where I'm beginning, where is line 0, where is the center line, and when do I need to renegotiate the center line to make sure that I am staying safe. This is something that is a little bit of a challenge for me, because as you're moving through Kali, your body position is moving, but you still need to be able to know where that center line is. You still need to be able to protect yourself. What is the center line for you? What line do you need to renegotiate to make sure that you stay safe, stay on track, stay on target, and move in the direction that you want to go in life? This line is always moving. As there are moves, there are always counter moves or recountering moves. There's always something that's changing in your life. And as these changes come into play, if you don't renegotiate or establish where the new center line is, you're going to find yourself a little bit lost, caught off guard, or maybe your hand gets cut off. Maybe you lose an eye and you're not able to see clearly anymore. These are all things that I'm learning in Kali that also relate into everyday life. Here's a good example in the martial art world. Somebody that has a white belt may not have as much control as somebody that has a black belt. Somebody that has a white belt might be running 1,000 steps, but somebody that's a black belt might only be taking a couple of steps, because they've learned how the system works. They've learned what matters. They've learned that small movements is all that's required to get you from where you are to where you want to be. This is what I'm learning right now. This is what I'm learning about the lines and how I move my body, how I strike, where I go next, what I do, what I don't do. All of these things play a part in not only my success in Kali, but in my success in everyday life. I'm seeing how this relates into coaching others, into business, into, any aspect of my life that I can possibly think of, my relationships. And I feel like the more I learn about Kali, the less I know, which seems pretty normal as you begin to learn something. And although I still feel really confident in the skills that I know that I have a lot still to learn. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and share so that others can learn from these experiences as well. Until next time, we'll see you tomorrow on day 111.